I learned this phenomenon. It was I think it was in Fierce Conversations, a course I took years ago, and the phenomenon of gradually, then suddenly. And it really stuck with me at the time, but only today did I actually, where did that even come from? And it came from Ernest Hemingway in the novel The Sun Also Rises. And the question was, how do you go bankrupt? And he says, two ways: gradually, then suddenly. And when I learned about this, I thought there is no single good, point in my life or bad point in my life that does not follow this path. So you can think on the good side, you gradually, fall in love and then suddenly you're committed or married or whatever. And the inverse is also true. You gradually start to grow apart and then suddenly you're not together. And I think that when you bring that to this topic and look for indicators, they're unique in, I mean, this, as varied as the workplace and all the individuals in it. I don't think we could come up with, like even a top 10 list of like, what does toxic stress look like? How do I watch for it? Because I think if we could, it wouldn't exist. We're especially, I mean, HR people are so committed to doing this, but it's those covert and unidentifiable small little things that gradually add up over time. And I like to use the analogy of like the dashboard on a car and thinking about getting in tune with our early warning indicators. And so, Liz, as you said, people come to you when they're like burnt out or they're ready to quit, right? That's like the equivalent of the car being broken down on the side of the road. So I think the trick is how do we figure out, and it has to be on an individual level, how do we figure out what the individual early warning indicators are and create the space for people to show up and be vocal about what those are, and then, or as an organization, create the space and figure out how we address those. But I do think it has to start at the individual level and being really in tune to what those are, because they just vary from person to person.